Is the speaker on? Yeah. Okay. We are doing Matova. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Please join with us. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We're so happy to be here with you this morning, this cold, cold morning. It will warm up in here. The more we sing and pray together, the warmer you will be.
Amen.
So consider that. We hear from Nancy, the heat is on. So the heat's
Exactly.
on, but we need to do our part also. So we'll
Exactly.
sing and we'll pray and we'll do what we need to do to warm up. If you have a cell phone on you, I encourage you at this moment to turn it off or at least silence it. And as you do that, we will turn in our prayer books to page 74, where we'll sing together Ma Tovu, this expression of gratitude for entering into a beautiful place of community and of prayer and of kind of a different space in time and place. So we'll turn to 74 and we'll join together.
Ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael, ma tovu, ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. ואני ברוב חסדך אבוא ביתך אשתחווה לך על קודשך ביראתך מה טובו מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. אדוני אהבתי מעון ביתך ומקום משכן כבודך, משכן כבודך, ואני אשתחווה ואכרע אברכה לפני אדוני עושי מה טובו, מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. ואני תפילתי לך אדוני את רצון אלוהים ברוב חסדך, אלוהים ברוב חסדך, ענני באמת אישך מה טובו, מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל. מה טובו, מה טובו אוהליך יעקב משכנותיך ישראל.
We're about to launch ourselves into a series of blessings, almost all of which begin with the words Baruch Atah Adonai. Baruch, blessed. Atah, you. Adonai is the four letters that it's impossible to pronounce, four letters of God's name. They're impossible to pronounce. It's not really that we're prohibited from pronouncing them. It's impossible to put four vowels together. Right? So, and that's Yud Hey Vav Hey, these four letters. So, when we offer these words, it actually relates to our learning and Torah study that just happened for the last hour from 9 to 10. Blessed are you. You know, in English, the translation often has a capital Y. There is no such thing as capital letters in Hebrew. And for some of us, if we offer these words, blessed are you, Adonai our God, Baruch Atah Adonai, for some of us it's very uplifting. For some of us it's actually off-putting, because it feels like we're being told what to think, or put words or thoughts or ideas into our heads, or to ascribe something that may not be how we feel. But I want to invite us into the possibility that rather than actually being a statement of objective content, when we offer the word atah, you, there's a big question mark that follows that atah. You don't see it written. You have to look with a different set of glasses to see the question mark that's written next to the word atah, on both sides of the atah. Actually, and above it and below it. There's four sides, and there's probably more. Maybe there's six, right? Because if the page were three-dimensional, there'd be one above it and one below, right? So that the word atah, you, is surrounded by question marks, or maybe there's some exclamation marks. There's some aspect of that aspiration that I feel plugged into. It's clear for me. But there's other parts of it that are not. So we start, as always, with an aspiration to feel grateful for our body and our minds and our hearts, that all of them are working. And one thing that's objectively clear, hey Jakey, is that for all of us, our bodies and our minds and our hearts are working well enough to have gotten us here. That's a big deal. Page 76. We're actually going to start this in English. We'll get to the Baruch Atah Adonai in about a minute. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them
be wrongly opened or closed,
it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch Atah Adonai, Rofei Chol Basar Umafli La'asot. 78. Elohai Neshama, a prayer for our soul.
Elohai נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא, אתה בראת, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי, ואתה משמרה בקרבי כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי. מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותי, מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אמותי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות, ברוך אתה אדוני, אשר בידו נפש כל חי, ורוח כל בשרי.
Amen. Page 80, with a whole series of blessings that begin with Baruch Atah Adonai. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. And now the English. Who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Amen. Baruch Hinu melech 82, who stretches the earth over the water. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes and slumber from the eyelids. 84. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with splendor. Amen. Baruch atah 86. Who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Amen.
We turn to page 88 and we engage with words of Torah. Please join with me. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. We turn to page 97 and we invite up Danny Kobrick to help lead us in Ashrei.
Danny, who became a bat mitzvah, a couple months ago? Weeks. Months.
December 1st.
December
Not that
1st.
long ago.
6, 7 weeks. She's back.
אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יהלו הסלע.
אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו.
תהילה לדוד, ארוממך אלוהי המלך, בהר ברך שמך לעולם ועד.
בכל יום אברכך, והללה שמך לעולם ועד.
גדול אדוני ומהלאות, ולגדולתו אין חקר.
דור לדור ישבח מעשיך, וגבורותיך יגידו.
הדר כבוד הודיך, ודברי נפלאותיך עשיך.
ועזוז נורותיך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה.
זכר רב תוך יביעו, ותדחתך ירננו.
חנון ורחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדול חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל, רחמה ועל כל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך. Page 98.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וגבורתך ידברו.
להודיע לבני האדם גבורותיו, וכבוד הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
עיניך אלוהיך יסברו, ואתה נותן להם את עולם בעיתו.
פותח את ידיך, ומשביע לכל הרצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
קרוב אדוני לכל קורב, לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון ירא יעשה, ואת צ'נתם ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו, ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד.
תהילת אדוני ידבר פי, וערך כל שר שם שוקשו לעולם ועד.
ואנחנו נברך יד, מעתה ועד עולם, hallelujah. Yasher koach, Danny, yasher koach. We turn the page to page 100 with smiles on our faces, proud of Danny, and we turn to page 100 to offer a psalm of praise to God, Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, 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 el bikacho, hallelujah, bekiauzo, hallelujah, biguratav, hallelujah, kerobudlo, hallelujah, 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 b'tika shofar, hallelujah, b'nevel v'chinor, hallelujah, b'tof u'machol, hallelujah, b'minim v'ugav, hallelujah, 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 b'tzil tzilei shama, hallelujah, b'tzil tzilei trua, kol hanshama tehaleya, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Last time. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
We turn to page 108 and rise for Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed, Le'olam va'ed. Yalalai lai lai, 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 yalalai lai lai.
On page 110, we offer gratitude for creation and our place within it. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai! In wisdom you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created. May they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights.
Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot.
Together at the top of 112, how deeply you have loved us, Adonai, our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. We continue 7 lines from the bottom with V'havienu.
V'havienu leshalom me'arba kanfot haaretz v'tolichenu komi le'artzeinu ki el poel yeshuot ata uvanu b'charta v'kerabtanu l'shimcha hagadol sela be'emet lehodot lecha ulyachtecha be'ahava baruch atah Adonai habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated as we turn to page 116.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen.
We continue responsively on page 121. The eternal truth is that you alone are God and there is none else.
May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice.
Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks.
Not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore.
You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart.
The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal. You were strangers in the land of Egypt.
Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor, asks God.
We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy.
Praise to God Most High.
Blessed is God and deserving of blessing.
We turn to page 122. We'll sing together Micha Mocha, our song of redemption, the song the Israelites sang at the edge of the Red Sea, which we'll actually read from the Torah next week. Page 122.
Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh nora tehilot osef eleh נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. שירה חדשה שימחו גאונים לשמחת שפת הים. יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני לעולם ועד. יאי לי 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 צור ישראל קומה בעזרת ישראל ופדיינו ממך יהודה וישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We turn to page 124 for the Amidah. Please rise.
אדוני שפתי תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו, מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו ומלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue privately through page 142 of our prayer books. You may remain standing or be seated according to your custom.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו שלום שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו
So we're about to begin our Torah service. In order to help us, I want to ask our Torah holders, Stephen Weinberg and Erica Groshin, if you'd come up, and our ark openers, Stu and Sandy Lubert, if you all would come up. And we will be, the service in the prayer book begins on page, 244. 244. Why don't we rise? You guys.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור והדור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני עוז למו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. אף הרחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך אל רם בניסה אדון עולמים, כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti. ונרומם השמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת, נצח וההוד, כי הול בשמיים ובארץ, כי הול בשמיים בארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה ומתנשא לכל, לראש על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. לא יישא גוי אל גוי חרב, לא ילמדו עוד מלחמה.
So I'd like to invite our first Torah reader, Jen Still, to come up. And for this very first Aliyah, pay attention, because we'd like to invite anyone who is celebrating a birthday or an anniversary in January to come up and have this honor of an Aliyah. And you can have more than one Aliyot. You can have 2, 3, 4. Some of you might qualify for all the Aliyot here today. So if you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, Jen, so hold this with there it is. Amen. This is Exodus 12, verse 29. Exodus 12, verse 29.
Amen. Vayi bachati halayla v'Adonai ha'ika kol bechor ba'eretz Mitzrayim mi bechor paro hayoshev al kiso ad bechor hashvi asher beveit habor v'chol bechor bema vayakam paro laila hu v'chol ha'avadav v'chol Mitzrayim v'tehi tzaka Gadola b'Mitzrayim ki ein bayit asher ein sham meit v'yakra l'Moshe v'Aaron laila v'yomer kumutzu Mitkro mai gatem gat b'nei Israel ulechu vidu et Adonai kedabarchem gam tzonchem gam bicharchem kachu kasher b'davartem v'alechu ulechiratchem
God bless each of you on your birthday and anniversary. May the day be special and wonderful and joyful and filled with family and love. May the day be the beginning of a year of fulfillment and meaning and growth. And let us all say,
Amen.
step down.
For our second Aliyah, listen carefully because you might be coming back. If you are a member of our healing professionals, if you are a healing professional yourself, if you're in the medical field, please, I invite you to come up for this Aliyah. And please help me with my cough. Heal me.
Is this me chanting?
Yes.
Okay. Heal me. That's the next prayer.
Yeah. Rabbi Meir will be chanting from continuing Exodus. We're in 12, verse 37, beginning with verse 37.
Baruch Adonai Amvarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Verse 33. Amen. Vatechezak Mitzrayim al ha'am lemaher l'shalcham min haaretz ki amru kulanu metim vayisa ha'am et b'tzeko terem yechematz mishartam tzorot Besamlotam al shichmam Uvnei Yisrael asu kidvar Moshe vayish'alu mimitzrayim klei chesef uchlei zahav usmalot v'Adonai natan et chen ha'am Be'enei Mitzrayim Ve'yashilum Ve'yinatzlu Et Mitzrayim.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher natan lanu Torah te'emet v'chayei olam notam b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Why don't should we bless these blessers of healing? Mishaberach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Imotenu Sarah, Rachel, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Bless these beautiful healers of the body. But their healing powers of the body begins with the healing and the strength and the humility and the curiosity and the determination that comes from their souls, their hearts, the love of other human beings, the commitment to helping each and every one of us be a little bit better today. May you know how powerful your work is, how critical your hearts are, and let us all be grateful for what you give. Let us all say, Amen. Okay, come down.
All right. For our third Aliyah, our wonderful Torah readers, I invite Elanit Rabbani. Elanit, please come up. And for our third Aliyah, I invite anyone who is in a leadership position here at the temple. If you're a member of our board, please come up. If you're a member of any of our committees, I invite you to come up we would like to celebrate you and also
good.
to
Debbie,
honor you
come.
in front of the
Mark,
Torah.
good.
So we have so many wonderful
Who else is there?
leaders here at this
Come on.
temple who
Abby,
really
come
make
on up.
things happen.
Come on. Pete, yeah, you're up here. You know, the truth is, the purpose of Torah, of reading the Torah, is just to be able to be physically close to the people we love and work with and help us in our lives. Kim, nice to see you. Don't leave me hanging. It's such a blessing to be close to all of you. All right. On 3. Baruch Adonai Amvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Adonai Amvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai.
Amen. Vayisu bnei Israel meramses Sukkota כי 600,000 רגלי הגברים לבד מצף וגם ערב רב עלה איתם וצאן ובקר מקנה כבד מאוד ויופו את הבצק אשר הוציאו ממצרים עוגות מצות כי לא חמץ כי גרשו ממצרים ולא יוכלו להתמהמה וגם צידה לא עשו להם. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. אמן.
For our fourth Aliyah, I invite Josh Rabbani to come up to help us read from the Torah. And I invite all of you who are thinking of someone today in need of healing. This is our Mishaberach Aliyah. If you are thinking of somebody in need of healing, I invite you to come up. And again, if you have come up already, please come up again. We love having people up here. People's names after he's finished chanting. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Baruch Hamvarach. Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Umoshav b'nei Yisrael asher yoshvu b'Mitzrayim 30 shana ו400 shana vayehi miketz 30 shana ו400 shana vayehi be'etzem hayom hazeh יצאו כל צבאות אדוני מארץ מצרים ליל שימורים הוא לאדוני להוציאם מארץ מצרים הוא הלילה הזה לאדוני שימורים לכל בני ישראל לדורותם.
אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. Amen.
And So I invite you to say any names that you are thinking of today as my eyes meet yours, if you're comfortable.
Glenda Artis and Dorothy Shaw.
Teresa Coulter, Miriam Malaga.
David Emanuel. Johnny Silver and Noah Diamond. Yes, Glenda Artis and Dorothy Shaw.
We are going to continue on page 253 with Mish. Page 253, please join with us. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor Abraha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body,
the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
For our fifth and final aliyah, I invite anyone, where this is our aliyah for Birkat Hagomel. We've started doing this a couple months ago with Rabbi Tara. Birkat Hagomel is a blessing that we say when we have crossed over to the other side, maybe of an illness, maybe of a long trip, maybe you had a really long plane ride and you came out really well. I like to think of it as you've crossed the Red Sea, now you're on the other side. So if you've maybe had an illness and now you're better, you still have those bruises, but you're better. And so we invite anyone who feels that they are in that situation to come up for this aliyah, and then we're going to say a very, very special blessing. Wow.
Before we'll let you think about it as we do. Tracy, you want to come up because you're going to be the chanter. You're going to chant this aliyah. Right, the Birkat Gomel is when you survived a difficult experience. Jakey, you're going to come up. Maybe one of your parents will come with you. Come on, we need an adult.
Yeah. You have had to have a bar mitzvah to do this blessing. Sorry, Jakey. You can stand up here with us, but we need a parent. There we go.
One for you and one for me.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Amvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bachar Banu Michol Ha'amim, Ve'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Verse 43.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai El Moshe ve'Aharon, Zotu kat ha'pasach, Kol ben akar lo yakobo, V'kol avad ish miknat kesef, Umalta oto az yakobo, Toshav v'sakir lo yakobo, Bavayit echad Yokelo tosi min habayit min habasar hota ve'et
ezem lo tishbaru vo kol edat Yisrael ve'asa oto ato v'ki yegor itacha gar ve'asa pasak ladonoi himo lo kol zakar ve'az yigrav la'asoto ve'haya ke'ezrak ha'aretz ve'kol arel lo yakobo. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Thank you.
Raise the Torah on bottom of page 252. Cantor Lappin will raise our Torah for us. As he does, I ask you to rise on the bottom of page 252. Please rise. V'zot HaTorah. Wow. Asher Sam Moshe. Livnei Yadei Adonai Adonai Biad Moshe. Yalai Yalalai 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 Yalalai
Yeah, we're going to put it here.
So in a couple moments, we'll invite our special guest up. Before we do it, we want to offer our prayer for the congregation. And I ask Pete Tuffle to come up and lead us in our prayer for the congregation. Pete is an incredible human being and a partner in all of the work in bringing guest speakers. Pete has been instrumental in that our successes. So, and each of the people for October, November, December, Dr. Gorman in March when Jonathan Haidt is here, Pete is the person who's made that happen. So, we offer the prayer for the congregation, which is on page, what is it, 258. Thank you. Someone else come up and lead this. Here we go. For our congregation, the top of 258. Yeah.
Of all being. May the children of this community learn these passions from us, love of Torah, devotion in prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy.
For the prayer for the nation, I invite Len Schiff. We're on page 259.
O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel. Of Israel?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a nation, but yeah, it's this one.
Sorry, right here. We're about to get to Israel. First, this
Yeah,
nation.
hold off on Israel for a moment. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen, amen. We need all the prayers we can get.
And our prayer for Israel is on page 259. Please join with us. Page 259 in the Hebrew. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo.
Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo.
Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulateinu, Hagein Aleha, Bevrat Chazdecha, Pros Aleha, Sukat Shelomecha, Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo. Ushlach orcha v'mitcha l'rashecha sarecha v'yotzecha v'yotzecha v'taknein beitzah tova milfanecha v'taknein beitzah tova milfanecha. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo. V'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam leyoshveha, v'nomar amen. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo. Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo.
Rise as we return the Torah to the Ark on page 256. Stu, you want to come back? Stu and Sandy, come back and open the Ark.
Et Chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomcheha meusha derachea darcheinam v'chol netivotea shalom. Hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva, Kadesh Yameinu,
Please be seated. The ark closed. We can sit. I want to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Bernard Gorman. Bernard received his PhD in 1971 in personality and social psychology from the City University of New York, completed postdoctoral studies in psychotherapy, the Institute for Rational Emotive Therapy. He's written numerous articles, presented many convention papers in the areas of personality assessment. I don't even know what this is, Bernie. Multivariate analysis. Forgive me, I'm not smart enough or educated enough. In relationships between cognition and affect. I witness it, but I don't think I know anything about these subjects. Dr. Gorman co-authored the textbook Developmental Psychology with Theron Alexander and Paul Rudin, co-edited research monograph of the personal experience of time. Wow, that's a very Jewish subject, I think. Dr. Gorman is a SUNY Distinguished Teaching Professor of Psychology in the State University of New York, scholar here in Nassau County, retired from Nassau County SUNY in 2013. Also holds an adjunct professorships Hofstra and Adelphi in the graduate psychology and gerontology programs, where he teaches courses in gerontology, multivariate statistical analysis, qualitative analysis. He doesn't want me to read all this, but it's very impressive, so I am. Computer applications in psychology and psychometrics. Dr. Gorman received the State University of New York Chancellor's Award for Excellence in College Teaching. And for more than 15 years, he combined his interests in measurement research, clinical issues, and teaching as a psychologist in the New York State Office of Mental Health. He served as vice president of the Metropolitan New York chapter of American Statistical Association. If I told you how poorly I did in statistics, I would. From 1993 to 1998, he's a senior research scientist in the Department of Psychiatry at Beth Israel Mount Sinai Medical Center. Bernie is on the editorial boards of multiple journals. Journals. Yeah, right, exactly, thank you. And which include the Journal of Psychotherapy Research, Psychology and Marketing, and Psychodynamic Psychiatry, the Journal of American Academy of Psychoanalysis and Dynamic Psychiatry, and several others. I want to just say a word about how Dr. Gorman came to be here. I can't exactly remember. Pete and I were talking 6-ish months ago, maybe 8. Maybe it was 8 months, I don't know. And we were talking about people, and I don't remember if Pete said it to me or I said it to him. I said it to you, Pete, that I had read an article in Great Neck, some papers, I can't remember if it was the Great Neck Record or somewhere, and the article about this wonderful academic who had brought all this academic and was very connected to something called the World Happiness Study. And because I'm so obsessed and kind of biased about Israel, I was drawn to that because I'd read before that in studies of happiness of Israelis versus Americans and others, Israelis are surprisingly happier. That's not the only subject that Dr. Gorman's going to speak to, but in a fully transparent way, that was what really was made me excited about seeing if we could get Dr. Gorman to come and be our speaker. And so it is an honor and a pleasure, Dr. Gorman, to ask you to come up and share your talk with us.
Wow, what a pleasure it is for me to be here today in this chilly January morning, but with the warmth of this congregation, this building here. A little bit about me. All research in psychology and psychiatry, social work, the other professions, is really me-search. And, when people study something, you wonder, why are they studying it? Well, I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm also a statistician. And not surprisingly, I want to know what makes people tick. And of course, personally, I want to know what would make my life better and those around me. Now, as a researcher, I know that research is an ongoing process. We call it research, 2 words, not one. And that what we find today and what we've sometimes used is okay, but often new findings, new research topple the old research. And so that if you're on top of things, things change pretty much by the day, and maybe now in the world of the internet by the hour. So don't expect to get the last word from me. If you want to, tune to Dr. Phil late afternoon. But I can offer you, I hope, some tasty, some munchable food for thought, and better yet, during the Oneg Shabbat, where the two will hopefully fit together. So a lot of my work has been to evaluate psychotherapy, to study how people experience grief. I've been working on studies over the years of how people survive the death of their children, very often to suicide, and also to develop methods of suicide, assessing suicide prevention. We're trying to find out what are the things that trigger suicide thoughts and acts in the immediate future, and to understand mood disorders. But the flip side of that goes way back when in my career. I was an editor of a humor magazine at Queens College, which almost always got me on the edge of being expelled for things that are a little too tight. I would work under a pen name, but everybody in the faculty and the deans knew who I was, really. And then I tried, rather failed attempt, writing comedy for Catskill Comics. That's a very depressing thing. And I found psychology was much more fun than that. And so in 1970, when I was working on my doctoral dissertation, I'd worked with 2 really great mentors, and later on, for the next 10, 15 years or so, colleagues Alden Westman and David Ricks. And their study started at Harvard, and they had studied people who reported on their moods and feelings virtually every night for anywhere from about a month to a month and a half. And then we would see, and later on in my research with them, what kind of things go with people who are generally happy, people who are generally sad, that's unfortunate, and people whose moods, and they were the most interesting of all, people whose moods varied up and down. They actually had a much richer life than we would expect to. Now, today I'd like to talk a little bit about the happiness of nations, and later on about the happiness of individuals. I have blessed with some terrific doctoral students at Hofstra and at Adelphi, and 3 of my Hofstra students, Zoe, Zhu Shu, David Cassell, and Josh Brenner, joined with me on a lot of, and when the rabbi said journals and journeys into some very nice research. And so we stumbled across the World Happiness Study, and I said, gee, I'd like to look more into that. And this is a study that started over 15 years ago, in which the Gallup organization, one of the best polling organizations in the world, goes and asks about how people feel about their lives in their countries. And they get thousands of responses, beautifully sampled, and then try to look at nations that are very high in happiness and very low. And one of the tools they use is something that I had used in my research, and Dave and Alden, as I say, my colleagues and mentors, had used, that they had borrowed from one of their professors early on. It's a small incestuous family at Princeton University, called the Cantrell Ladder Scale. A guy named Hadley Cantrell had a very simple device. He would show people a picture of a ladder. And he would say, here's a 10-runged ladder, and what I'd like you to do, and here I'll only quote it directly, imagine a ladder with steps numbered 0 at the bottom to 10 at the top. And suppose we say that the top of the latter is the best possible life for you, and the bottom is the worst possible life for you. And then, where do you think you are now? We can extend it to where do you think you were 5 years ago, where do you think you'll be in the future, or any time perspective that you want. But basically, what this World Happiness Study does is where do you feel you are now? And what we found, and you can grab the data from the web. All this is publicly available, nothing secret. Governments and the United Nations is investing in this. They also had indicators of other things as well. They asked about, and that's hard data, the gross national product divided by individuals. They talked about expectancy, life expectancy. They talked about family ties and social support. But they also talked about freedom, about generosity, about trust in their government. And interestingly, we found that the Gallup people, with all their carefulness, hadn't really related this overall ladder scale satisfaction to these other indicators. And we wondered, let's throw some of our statistical tools and get our computers buzzing and see what's going on. Now, as you might have heard, and as common sense would dictate, of the 155 nations that were studied, the top 10 were pretty much in order, changed slightly by year to year, but not dramatically. Norway, Denmark, Iceland, Switzerland, Finland, the Netherlands, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. And the bottom 10 are, unfortunately, the wretched of the earth: Haiti, Yemen, South Sudan, Liberia, Guinea, Togo, Rwanda, Syria, Tanzania, Burundi, and the Central African Republic. So what did we look for? Well, basically, we wanted to know what went along with these things. Not surprisingly, each of these indicators, such as income, life expectancy, correlated with this overall ladder scale of happiness. But we wondered, with some of their 6 indicators, which they didn't base the ladder on, what went with the ladder? Were they one global thing? Happiness. They all went together. And here's what we found. First of all, we used a technique, multivariate, putting a lot of variables together, called factor analysis. And we found out that while you could glom all 6 together, that wasn't really as accurate as looking at 2 general things. One factor was a much more homey factor, and that was basically made up of gross national product. It was made up of family health and life expectancy. And we'd call that the personal concerns factor. In other words, what you feel at home right now. And then the other was a more social political factor. What was it? It had things like your trust in your government, sense of freedom, and how you felt your countrymen were generous to each other. And these things tied in with the other factor, but not very strongly. And we looked at their relationship to this overall ladder scale of happiness. What we found, and I think you could probably guess, was that the more personal things were the drivers of happiness. In other words, what goes on at home? Are you healthy? Are you making enough to live on? Is your family together? And not just say that the others, like freedom, generosity, were not important. They were, but they were much less related. And so it gave us some things to think about. First of all, one thing to think about was does happiness begin at home? And to some degree it does. Many years ago, a great humanistic psychologist named Abraham Maslow said that a lot of our human needs can be arranged like a pyramid, with the base being the most basic human and animal needs: food, shelter, etc. After that comes safety and security needs, more personal needs for self-esteem, and way, way at the top, if we can get there, things like self-actualization needs. Now, all of these are important, but Maslow had a brilliant saying that, to me, rings very true with our data, and that was bread before Bach, that you've got to satisfy the lower needs, and I don't mean lower in any bad sense, but the more basic human, animal needs, and that before we get to the others, that people have to be freed up of the daily burdens and challenges before they could reach the higher levels. And my feeling is that that has some political implications. In other words, when we go across the world, perhaps with a lot of good hope, but maybe not such altruistic needs, to say we're going to promise folks freedom. We're going to promise them fulfillment. We're going to promise them a government that can be trusted. That might not be as important as first feeding their basic survival needs. And quite seriously, I think that, at least in my opinion, that ISIS, that Al-Qaeda gains its popularity by saying we will take you out of your, they don't well, but your immediate miseries. And perhaps our saying we will liberate them for freedom may be a distal goal, but not more proximate. Here's what we've got to do here. By the way, you may wonder, where does Israel and the United States fit in this 155 country ranking? Well, the answer is Israel is 12th. They didn't make the top 10 soon, we hope. And the United States is about 15th or 16th, depending on which year you look at it. So claims that we are the greatest nations, well, we're up there on Earth, may not quite be the answer now. Now, a lot of research, as I said, is research, and it should be replicated. And we were lucky. We found another study called the World Value Study, also perfectly available on the web, with all the data files ready-made for us to put in our computers. And we found out that they rated life satisfaction, not quite happiness, I want to make a point of that, on the same countries, at least 40 of the same countries of the original 155. And we wanted to see if we could replicate it. And here was the answer we got. Yes, that when we looked at corresponding measures from each study, they're about the same. The rankings of the countries were the same. And pretty much what we found is the more immediate needs drove the overall thing. Now, the World Value Study did something we found very useful. We noticed there was a measure they had of happiness, but they also had a measure of life satisfaction. And life satisfaction was the much more important one. That tied in with the overall ladder scale. Where do you feel that your life is now? Happy seemed to be much more momentary, the wowie of now, but not necessarily of always. And it's something that we wanted to look at. We looked at further. Now, essentially, we have that, and we had presented this at some, that's an interesting slip of the tongue, I'm a psychoanalyst as well, but presented this at a convention, and we had, and we're preparing it for some publications. But then I look back at some of my other work, and I'm saying, but what about individuals? In other words, we'd say, on the average, the country is happy. But, you know, there's a saying that statisticians have, and that is, did you ever hear of the statistician who could drown in a stream that has an average depth of 1.5 feet? And the answer is, yeah. You know, on the average, it's that. It's sort of like if a family decided to save some money and had a group urine test. And it might say one of you is diabetic, one of you is pregnant, but we're not telling you which one, or it may be several of you at the same time. So what about the individuals? Well, as a social scientist, I've been trained to essentially also look at differences by gender, social class, by other measures, by personal differences, strengths, and so on. And here are a few snippets that I'd like to leave you with and talk about a little bit later. Certainly ethnicity, age, periods in history. We're not the same as the people of yesterday. Hopefully, not the same as the people of tomorrow. Hopefully, they'll be better than us, instead of some nostalgia, like they don't make them like they used to be. Thank goodness. In many cases, that might be a good thing. So what are some of the things we're finding? First of all, happiness is not the same as life satisfaction and well-being. Happiness is rather momentary. Great when we have it, but we can express both happiness and sadness within a few seconds of each other. Look at your service today. We had deep sorrow, grief, healing, hopes for healing, recovery, but you also had joyous moments of glory, of hope, of thanksgiving for things. And I think that's very important. So that perhaps the goal is not to be just happy, but to say, when we look back, are we satisfied with our lives? And at present, are we generally experiencing well-being? We talk about, in psychology now, hedonic treadmill, that we feel good now, but that things go cyclically, that afterwards we may not feel as good, or luck, chance, fate might have it that we might feel worse in that. Think about that car, that appliance, that vacation. It was going to change your life for the better. How euphoric you were thinking about it, enjoying it, savoring it for the first few perhaps days, moments, hours. But afterwards it may become pleasant, ordinary, or perhaps even boring and mundane. So we might have to think about happiness not being a simple antonym of unhappiness, but we want to think about the blend of things. I can give you a good argument that some of our negative moods might be extremely important in our lives, and in fact may be the background against what we see as happiness. I can give you good arguments, and I'm sure you can probably do better than me on this. The fear of anger, sometimes righteous anger against injustice, of shame, of guilt. Shame on you. Don't you feel any responsibility or remorse for what you've done? The 60s, where I entered the field, is over. It's not just the wowie and whoopee of now. What about the other things on it? As Jews, do we sometimes say Shanda for the Jews? Oh my God, some of our criminals and scoundrels now are one of us. That's not so good, but maybe it pushes us toward it. In studying people who grieve, we have something that's amazing to look at called post-traumatic growth. Some people have gone through some of the most miserable things that a human could ever imagine, may emerge from this. I'd never hope these tragedies for anybody, but may emerge as better people, more compassionate, more concerned, more care, more loving than they had been before these tragedies occur. I've also looked at, with my colleagues Vince Alfonso, David Allison, and extended satisfaction of life. We may be satisfied with some areas of our life, but not necessarily all. You may be blessed with good health. You may have a good professional life, but you might be rather poor or hoping or injured in some other areas, and we have to look at that. There are individual differences, and while our pop gurus are offering us some tidbits, as I might too, the big picture isn't yet in. What are some of the things that we know? Well, part of it is that a good deal of what we're in, I don't mean worldwide, and that countries of the world can work on that, but as individuals, isn't just the situation we're in. It's how we construct and think about that situation. That's very important. The same situation might be gloomy for one person and leave opportunities for the next. We hear of things that are cliches, but truisms have a true ring to them that some of us look at the world as half empty, others as half full. Some look at an exit as a tragedy and leaving. Some see it as an entrance to something else. And in some of the therapy, when I was in practice, now I do more research on therapy, is about some belief systems that get people in trouble. We are born to think, but we may overthink or may not look at all the things. For example, awfulizing. In other words, that things are really awful, terrible, the worst. I can't possibly give through it. And I used to say to patients, and I learned this from my mentors, think about the last tragedy you were in. Not the one you're in now, but the last one. What happened? You made it through. You made it through perhaps for a lot of reasons. But it wasn't the worst. It was damnable inconvenient. It was really inconvenient. It was a setback. You may want to help yourself or others to avoid these things, but it's not the worst. We also burden ourselves with lots of shoulds, oughts, and musts. I should do this. The world should be that way. I must be perfect. Lots of luck in your schooling and in your life that way. The world must be fair. It'd be nice if it was. We have these sorts of beliefs. I must be loved by everyone. Lots of luck. As we've known over millennia, there are people who hate us even before we're born. And we might do well. So how about replacing these musts, shoulds, oughts with things like it would be nice if, I try to, and so on. We also believe that things are intolerable. I can't stand it. I can't do this. Well, you can learn to tolerate frustration. It's hard, but it can be done. It's a lot of work. I can't stand it. Sure you can, but you won't like it. Nobody will ever say you'll like this, but you can handle this. People cope in different ways. George Valiant, that's a nice name, at Harvard University, now retired, sort of, at about 87. I wish I was as retired as he was. He's working beyond the clock. Says that some things that we would have called defenses in the old days, defense is bad. Well, no, it's not. They're like short-term loans and credit cards. Some things that we might want to use would be things like humor, powerful, to be able to use humor, to anticipate. I'm saying do worry a little bit. For example, what if you planned a vacation and it was rainy most of the time? Well, you better have a backup plan for that. Suppression. Oh my God, the world is going to hell tonight, but I need to sleep tonight. I'll fight that tomorrow. Those of us who are in health professions realize we can't every single moment take care of our patients because as helpers, providers, healers, whatever you want to call it, we need to be intact and as well. So we need to use some of these things as well. And we can learn them or give ourselves permission to be human and still be on the track. And very important, a lot of happiness studies are showing that individual happiness very much depends on the people we're with. And that's extremely important. There is no such thing as a feral human being. Makes a nice story to talk about Romulus and Remus. Takes a nice story to make Tarzan, great stories. But the fact is that we, before we're conceived, need other people. There's no way we can be born without the help of others. And the support throughout our life of others in all sorts of things is important. Now, here's the hitch. Some of us are not so good at receiving help from others, at sending signals that we need help or providing love to others. And that may not be our fault. I mean, as one of the things that I've learned in my sort of psychoanalytic training is, well, the unconscious is unconscious. And some things might have formed us from our early relations with our parents, grandparents, and maybe generations back that shaped us into who we were. And we weren't even aware of it. This is the best strategy we knew as needy infants and toddlers. And that was our map of our worlds. And we might go bumbling through as best as we can with that, but we may not be the givers and takers of human warmth that we would perhaps love to be. And maybe we can learn it, maybe, again, with the help of others, but that's going to be a lot of work. So that even in countries that are generally happy, well, we have sad people. For example, the Scandinavian countries have rather high rates of suicide. We know that in our very wealthy towns, like right here, for example, there is the other side of the tracks. And there is the town down the road that's the servant quarters for our towns. And we have to think about those as well. So there are plenty of individual differences. We can take care of the big pictures, but, like the saying goes, physician, heal thyself, that you might have to work on that level. So, again, thank you for the privilege of meeting with you, and, be around Neoneg, and as I say, we can munch. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Yes. No, unfortunately,
All right. So first of all, thank you, Dr. Gorman, for such a wonderful journey through the ideas of happiness, personal, national. Your mind reminds me that when I left my lawyer life and I told my mom that I was going to become a rabbi, she actually was very unhappy. And she said to me, why don't you become a psychologist or something like that? And what strikes me is that much of what you said, Dr. Gorman, it's very rabbinic. Rabbi Gorman, I mean. It was very rabbinic. Like, that's what we do as people who care about religion and the heart and the mind. So we'll have an opportunity for Q&A with Dr. Gorman downstairs, and we'll think about personal happiness. I'm curious, Bernie, about, for all of these countries that, are fairly well fed, what distinguishes between 1 and 15 or 10 and so anyway, let's rise for Aleinu on page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
287.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא
יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Please be seated. As always, we remember loved ones. We remember loved ones before concluding in our Kaddish list. Maybe it's right here. Yeah, here it is. In the period of Shloshim, we remember Ruth Abalafia and Zoya Levieva. Period, Amos Oz as well. And if you are, this is actually not the right list, I'm realizing. That there in Shloshim, if you're here remembering someone, let me ask you to rise and share the name of a loved one. Rebecca, if I can ask you to rise. We're remembering John Mustel. Thank you, Merdad. Who else are we remembering? Howard Title, yes. Thank you. Others? Yes, Iris. Please stay standing. Anyone else? Okay, if it's your custom to rise with the mourners, please do so. We're on page 294. 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah Bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich mochutei b'chai echon u'v'yom echon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael b'gala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemed kudisha p'reichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yalma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and let us say Amen. Just a few brief announcements. As I said, immediately following our service in a moment, we'll go downstairs for our Kiddush lunch. And Merdad, thank you so much to you and Seppi for sponsoring our lunch, making it happen. We'll have a Q&A. 2 dates I want to point out. One is March 23rd. Professor Jonathan Haidt from New York University will be here, the author of The Righteous Mind, and what's the book of his that just came out? It's going to be really quite a special morning, March 23rd. There's a ton going on. Also, April 7th, our Beth-El 90th Gala. So in the Sunday, late afternoon, evening of April 7th. I want to thank as well David Sutton, where are you, for the incredible partnering that you provide, the organizing of the making the lunch happen, organizing of so many moments here, and most importantly, the thinking partner that you are for me, David. Okay, I think we're gonna do two things. We're gonna sing, because initially my real primary connection here, I was thinking about the Israel-America connection. Where's Jakey? Is he right here? Jakey and any of the others. We're gonna sing Hatikva, because I was thinking about this Israel-America thing. We're gonna sing Hatikva, and then we're gonna make Kiddush and Motzi.
Let's do Motzi. We're gonna sing Hatikva.
Okay. And Hatikva is on 374. Jakey, I love that you're standing here. Where's the others who are going to sing with you? Anyone want to join you? Rafi, you want to come? Adina, where are you? Where did Adina go? Okay, it's all right. We're here. That's enough. Page 374.
Kol od baleva penima nefesh Yehudi homiya ufate mizrach kadima ayin lezion sofi Yerushalayim.
Awesome job, Jakey. We close with Kiddush. You want to stay up for Kiddush and Motzi? Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Take a drink, you want? Don't ask your parents. It's fine.
You got this.
1, 2, 3. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Take a piece of challah.
Well done. Jake.
Our wonderful pianist, AJ, and to all our ushers. We'll see you downstairs.